popular vote. And B, he didn't, although he did win the popular vote, majority of Americans did not vote for Trump. They voted for either Kamala Harris or a third party candidate. So when you make the claim that 51 to 52% of Americans voted for Donald Trump, that claim is just analytically false. But now I would like you to specify the reason. So you said that you voted for him for the same reason that others did. Well, the main reason why individuals voted for Trump in the 2024 election cycle was because of the inflation that we've had in our country over the course of the last 4 years. Is that the reason you voted for him?
Was the inflation? Well, I'll answer that. Yes, that's partially, but I'll answer that. I'm still waiting for you to get to the point where Donald Trump unequivocally said he does not support humanitarian aid to Gaza. Let's not shoot forward.
I appreciate you for the Jim Gun Tessa. So here we go. If you go ahead and you look up Trump, quote unquote, all hell to pay, you'll be given articles from the Jerusalem Post, Al Jazeera, and the European Council on Foreign Relations.
He's talking specifically to the Hamas leadership. He's not saying that they're not going to provide humanitarian aid. That's being facetious.
Okay, so I mean, this is what I've read. We could have a debate about that.
It's just like no, I understand. It's just like in Afghanistan. Like we used to tell the Taliban, "Hey, there's going to be hell to pay."
Once again. So wait, so you're saying that he was like lying and he wasn't to be taken literally?
No, I'm saying you're lying and you're not to be taken literally because you are literally lying. Just like in Afghanistan, we used to say
once again, I want to give you a article
because the reason why
go on the internet, look up Al Jazeera. Look up Trump.
Do you know that Al Jazeera is an actual terrorist organization, right? Al Jazeera, during almost the entire Iraq and Afghanistan war, from like 2001 till like I believe 2010, we did not even remotely use any of their sources whatsoever because they're
so Nelson Mandela was considered a terrorist in America, and the KKK still isn't until this day. So I don't think the classification of terrorist organizations in our country, right, should be taken all too accurately. Not to mention that I'd love you to provide me some evidence insofar as like any documentation that Al Jazeera is considered a terrorist organization in America, because I highly doubt that. And then secondly, you're just disputing the source. Like, okay, and like, how about we focus on the conversation that I've been trying to have with you? You told me that you voted for Trump because of inflation and other things.
But the source did not even claim what you claimed, though, Dean. You said that Donald Trump says he does not support.
And then also go ahead and look up the Jerusalem Post. Israel considering reduction in humanitarian aid to Gaza with start of Trump's term.
But that's Israel saying that. That's not Donald Trump saying that.
So Donald Trump said at a rally in New Brunswick, New Jersey, that he absolutely thinks that we should give Israel unconditional support as they have the right to win the war, and we will support them until they do.
Yep,
so
support to win the war.
Aid to Gaza, and Trump having unconditional support for Israel and what they do. That's just
Israel's the sovereign state.
But now, like, I've literally been like trying to like ask you this whole time. Like, honestly, are you scared of like debating me on like why you voted for Trump? Like, listen, man, I will happily talk about Israel and Palestine with you, but like every single time I try to drill down your reason why you voted for Trump, you just all of a sudden want to talk about this. So, and you keep on shifting the goalpost too, and you keep trying to change the subject. So I said that Trump doesn't support humanitarian aid to Gaza. You asked me for my source. I give you my source. Right? And then you're like, oh, well, that's Israel. That wasn't Trump that said that. So that's when I'm like, well, Trump literally said he supports unconditional support for Israel. So if Israel determines that they no longer want to give Gaza humanitarian aid, out of virtue of Trump's statements in New Brunswick, New Jersey, we will see no contestment from the Trump-Vance administration. So I am happy that I've been able to give my argument for that. Thank you so much. Now, talking about why you voted for Trump, you were talking about inflation in our country over the course of the last 4 years. How did the Biden-Harris administration cause inflation?
I didn't say inflation. I said there was.
You did. You said that was one of the reasons why you voted for Trump.
Yeah, it was one of the reasons. Yes, but it's not the main reason.
How did Biden and Harris cause inflation in our country in the last 4 years? Because if inflation in our country in the last 4 years gives you some reason not to vote for Kamala Harris, this means that Kamala Harris will be some point culpable for that inflation. So explain to me how Kamala Harris and Joe Biden caused inflation to justifiably deserve culpability.
Okay, I'll give you just the main reason, the one reason among many. Energy policy. The fact that they have brutalized the energy industry, in which I'm actually have been in for 15 years. I've been an energy broker for one of the largest energy brokers in North America. And it is almost impossible. Rates, let's just say for electric and gas, have gone up by almost double since 2021. If you have inflation at its basic level, where it costs more to bring goods and services across the ocean and then on 18-wheelers, I'm breaking this down for your people, then all of the prices go up the ladder are going to go up. That's inflation 101.
Wow. Do you realize what you just said? You just said if it costs more to send goods across the ocean, that will cause inflation, and this is the bare necessities. I have a question. What's a tariff? Do tariffs make it cost more to send goods across the ocean?
Well, they do momentarily, yes. No, I'm not gonna, of course they do.
Cool, awesome. Now to respond to the crux of your position that Biden and Harris caused, inflation through problematic energy policy. Why the fuck did you leave? He didn't get banned. He just left. No, liberal tears, come back. That was mean. That was fucked up, liberal tears. I was about to catch your ass because you said the wrong shit in the wrong way. I mean, listen, actually, I get it from his perspective. Like, he literally said that things costing more to send across the ocean is what causes inflation. He couldn't have described Trump's tariffs any better. So, like, first of all, like, wow, that was just such a rhetorically disadvantageous way to describe inflation from your perspective. Like, there was a million and one other ways that he could have described inflation that wouldn't have automatically implicated Trump's policy to be inflationary to any, like, competent brain. But I please come back. Don't run away from me. It looks like the liberal tears aren't rolling down my cheeks today. So, oh well. We're gonna go and get the main account up here so we could get some push out over there. But guys, if you want to support me, the Venmo and the PayPal are at the top of the screen. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, as well as I could give you a shout out if you do support me. Grace, I really appreciate you so much for the $1 on Venmo, as well as I was just reading your message there. I'm sorry for what you're going through, and I hope that you start feeling better soon. What's up, Joseph? Did you vote for Trump? No, Joseph did not. Ashani, thank you so much for the $3 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Dude, I debated 8 conservatives. Yeah, I hope that you're doing okay. Maybe you're going to start balding like I am. But thank you so much for the $3. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest. Icy up in the box, you guys. If you are MAGA, make sure to let me know down below in that chat. All right, you guys. We're going to go ahead and get that next guest up in here literally right now. I'm not balding! Who said that? Who said that I was balding in the chat? God, all these false allegations have been lobbed at me, okay? First it was stealing baby Jesus, and now it's balding. Jesus, the deep state is trying to do anything they can to politically persecute, right, a political opponent like me. Cole, what's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
23.
Okay, so why did you decide to vote for the worst presidential candidate of your lifetime?
I know you're going to kick me, but I talked to you like last week about this.
Okay, well, you did know that I was going to kick you, so that is phenomenal for you. Brianna, I appreciate you for the $1 on PayPal. And Hannah, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo, saying you never cry. I appreciate you for the $5, Hannah. Clarence, what's going on? Yo, the evil. Yo, we got pure evil in human form.
Dean,
okay?
We know that's a wig, bro. We know you put on a wig.
Have you ever seen that one movie with like the $1 million? What is it called? It's like Austin something.
Yeah,
what is it?
the bald guy. Is that your boy?
No, that's you, bro. We got
bald.
Dr. Evil in the live.
He's bald like you, bro.
Oh, fuck. I set you up for a dunk. Dude, I fucked myself over. Okay.
Hey, listen, bro. One day I was debating you. A while back, right? A while back I was debating you on abortion, and you kicked me. You kicked me out, and you told your whole chat I ran away. Ever since that day, it's been my mission to meme you, bro. It's been my mission to get my revenge. And
why would I kick
bro.
you out? Abortion is one of my strongest arguments.
One of your mods did then, bro, because, dude, we were having a good debate.
Okay, all right, run it back. But before you do, I actually have to thank people for all of their very, very kind donations here. So how about you shut up just for a second? Dr. Evil over here spreading the false, fake propaganda.
You look like Dr. Evil more than me, bald boy.
Dude, okay, I won't lie. I did give you the dunk there with the whole Dr. Evil thing just because he happens to be bald. So you took the opportunity and you executed perfectly. So I can't even be mad about that. Like you just drew the line between the dots and you did it perfectly. I can't even be mad. But that doesn't change right? The overwhelming fact that you're evil, okay, and you spread propaganda. But I do just have to thank a couple people here. Tessa, thank you so much for the $37 and the 77 cents to Bald Boy, saying thank you for providing us daily content and just being you. Never doubt yourself. We stand with you. Tessa, you are in here every single day, and I appreciate you so much for the love. Let's get at least 400 W's in the chat for Tessa, as well as Kristen. Thank you for the $20 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much, Kristen. W's for Kristen in the chat. I really do appreciate everyone so much for the love here. Let's also see Jack. Thank you for the $6. Brady with a $5. Eli with a $5. Brianna and Crudes and Elena all with $1. Thank you guys so much for the love. And we just got one more person here. Ashley, thank you for the $2. Mua with the $1. And now go ahead. Why do you think abortion is wrong?
So I think we need to focus on the risk that the couple is taking when they get in the bedroom, right? Like, where do you draw the line? Do you have like a weekly point, like when in terms of a baby's development?
Yeah, so I think that elective lethal abortions become immoral at about 20 through 24 weeks. Now you're saying that abortion is wrong because of the acknowledgement of a potential pregnancy during intercourse?
Yeah.
Okay, here's why I think that's a bad argument. Because if the only reason you think abortion is immoral is because you find the mother to be obligated to deal with pregnancy due to the fact that that was a consequence of sex and she knew the risks, this leads us to some very absurd conclusions if we just examine your logic. For instance, a cigarette smoker smokes a cigarette acknowledging the risk that it may cause them lung cancer. If they were to get lung cancer, are they obligated to sustain the life of the lung cancer, or should they be able to go to a doctor and get chemo?
Okay, so determination of their lung cancer. Lung cancer does not equal a human fetus.
Yeah, so
Well,
lung
that's a
cancer is
poor
not a human
analogy.
fetus. The only difference between the fetus and the lung cancer under your worldview that you could point out is that you find the fetus to be morally valuable and you don't find the lung cancer to be morally valuable, and that's
Correct.
fine, and that is a symmetry breaker. However, now you're making an entirely different argument. You're no longer arguing that abortion is wrong because a mother's obligated to deal with the consequences of her actions, and now you're arguing that abortion is wrong because of the moral value in the fetus. But yo, Amber! Oh my god! With a 50 gifted subs! Thank you so much for the love, Amber. Everybody, please show some love to Amber. I want to see at least 500 W Ambers down below in that chat. Holy crap. Thank you so much for the 50 gifted subs. That is literally unreal.
Hell,
Thank you,
Amber.
thank you. Hail Amber, so real. Now moving back to you.
No, L Amber. L Amber.
Okay, so you're jealous of me.
Whoa.
You Sid with the unicorn fantasy. What is going on, bro? W Amber and W Sid. Thank you, Sid and Amber. Come on, W's for Sid and Amber. So W Sid, W Amber, could I get one from you, Ben?
Big L for Sid.
Okay, so you're big jealous.
I'm not big jealous. I got more money than you. Actually, no chance.
Katie, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Can I get a W, Katie?
Let's talk about abortion. How about that?
Okay, let's get some W's for Katie in that chat as well. Anyways, going back to, abortion and whatnot. So why do you find the life of the fetus to be morally valuable?
Because it's a human being. And I think in terms of abortion, there's a moral line we're drawing, right? Like, for example, you draw the moral line at 12 weeks. So I draw the moral line.
Don't draw
When I'm drawing this moral line, one thing I take into account is the risk this couple made and the risk they understood when they got in the bedroom, right? So when you look at that risk of just a simple pleasure, or we'll call it true love, when you take the risk of true love, pleasure, whatever you want to call it, then the moral line of how much value that baby has goes up, right? It goes up because they're sleeping together. They understand the outcome. So to me, it's like we need to back up as a society and just
okay. Can I respond to that?
Hookup. Yeah, hold on. Let me wrap it up. Because hookup culture, it's a thing, bro. And it's a truth that when we keep pushing this pro-choice thing and there's lives on here that say up to 9 months. I understand that you don't agree up to 9 months, but it's like if we keep pushing this pro-choice, it doesn't matter if we have to go to the root of it, which is they're taking a risk for pleasure, bro.
Yeah, and we've already kind of responded to that position. So you're saying that they're taking a risk for pleasure, they should be obligated to deal with the consequences. A cigarette smoker does the exact same thing, and you think otherwise. What this
Bro,
tells me,
are you saying lung cancer equals a baby, a human fetus? That's basically what you're saying.
I'm saying that lung cancer has an identical amount of moral value as a human fetus.
Bro,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
no way you just said that, bro.
Dude, if I think it's okay to kill it, of course I attribute none moral value to it. Come on, buddy.
So
Let's
can
be
you
real.
say that again?
And like
You
that's
said
an
that-
entirely defensible. One second. And that's an entirely defensible position. Like you told me that you find the life of a fetus to be morally valuable because it's a human. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's a murder to pull the plug on a brain dead patient because they're human and alive?
This is where we were when I got kicked, bro. This is exactly where we were. Do I think it's immoral to pull the plug? No. I think if the brain
But
dead
they're
person,
human and alive.
they are human and alive, but their life is already ending, and there was no risk. There was no risk for pleasure, right? That's why I bring back the risk for pleasure. It's always going to come to that, bro, because there's no risk
Okay,
involved.
so
of a
what you're
couple days dead.
telling me here is the only difference between the fetus and the brain dead human has nothing to do with like being human, has nothing to do with being alive, and is all to do with that risk for pleasure that the mother took. So in other words, all that you're telling me, the only reason why it is wrong to dismember this fetus was because of the mental states and attitudes of the woman prior to conception. So, I mean, this is truly unveiling, right, the hypocrisy and lies of the pro-life movement, because you virtue signal behind the shield of caring about the life of the fetus, caring about that unborn, when in all reality, the only reason why you're quote-unquote pro-life is because you're pro-control of the woman, because you disagree with this woman in the context of attitudes relating to intimacy, sex, and romance. So then you want to punish her by forcing her to maintain pregnancy for 9 months, which also, in consequence, punishes that child, because then all of a sudden you're forcing an unwanted child into an unready household. And the empirics have, come off the printing press, sir. In areas with pro-life legislation, we see lower qualities of life on average, lower levels of income, lower levels of education, and lower levels of employment, because it's shifting the family dynamic away from financially well-off adults that consent to starting a family, that desire to raising children, into forcing 19, 20, 19, 18, and 20-year-old boys and girls into becoming moms and dads. Casey, thank you for the galaxy, because you disagreed with their mental states. It makes no goddamn sense, man. And if anything, this furthers the validity of the pro-choice worldview, because all the value that you apply to that fetus's life to protect it from being ended is all extrinsic. It's nothing internal about it specifically. It's extrinsic to the mental states and attitudes of the mother. It's extrinsic to the events that led to its conception, and it has nothing to do with an innate amount of value that attributes its right to life. It has all to do with these extrinsic variables. So this is absolutely implicitly agreeing with me that there's nothing intrinsically valuable about the life of a fetus.
So I want to tackle 2 points there. I think all of this is extrinsical or whatever. I don't think it has anything to do with your like moral, like whatever. But you said, first thing you said was I want to force this woman to be pregnant. Again, no. They agreed to get in the bedroom. There was no forcing of them to have pleasurable intercourse. That was their decision. There was no forcing. They understood a possible outcome was pregnancy. It wasn't a forced pregnancy. That would be an exception, which I would be willing to go into. I still think we should strive to life in every situation, but that would be a different story. These are not forced pregnancies we're talking about. Secondly, you said, the unwanted kid, right? You said, well, then the kid would be unwanted, and you're making a child born that's unwanted. So let's say there's a man or a woman who is unwanted. They don't really have a lot of love in their life. They're about 20 years old. They're depressed. Nobody wants them. They're just unloved. Do you think that person has no value because they are unwanted?
Have you asked me for why I don't give the fetus value?
I mean, I've seen your lives, bro.
So what's my pro-choice argument?
Well, can you respond to my point first?
Well, the answer to your point is no, because the reason I don't attribute that moral value to the fetus is because it doesn't have the capacity to deploy consciousness or sentience prior to about 20 through 24 weeks. So when you introduce this like obvious...
No, but you brought up an unwanted child. You said when it was born. You said the child will be born and it will be unwanted, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah, these are the real dire, real world consequences.
So what if there's
infringing upon a woman's right to access abortion with no good reason? Like this is the real world empirical outcome of pro-life legislation that inherently has no good reason to exist due to the lack of justification that the fetus is morally valuable, or due to the existence of internal contradictions between your beliefs. And I mean, we've already pointed them out. Like, for instance, I asked you what makes the life of the fetus morally valuable, and you just said, oh, well, it's it's a human, but then you sit here and you tell me that the life of a brain dead patient isn't morally valuable, even though it's a human. That's a contradiction in your principled stance. Additionally, insofar as the first point that you made there, if you want to remind me of it real quick.
Back to a forced pregnancy. It's not a forced pregnancy because they're in the bed.
Yeah. So if I put a shirt on and then you pull out a Glock and you point it at me and you say that if you take that shirt off, I'm gonna pull the trigger, are you forcing me to keep the shirt on?
Hold on, bro. Dude, sometimes it's hard to follow how you're jumping all over the place like hopscotch. Say that again. You pull off your shirt. I get a little.
If I put a shirt on and then you make it illegal for me to take the shirt off and you say if I do take the shirt off, I will go to jail for the rest of my life, are you forcing me to keep that shirt on?
I'm not forcing you, no.
Okay, well then what do you think force is? Maybe we need to talk about what,
I'm not
that
forcing
means.
you. You're again, you can take your shirt off, but you understand the outcome could be jail. Yes?
So when you say force, all that you mean is like physically preventing an individual from doing something, right?
To me, a forced pregnancy would be SA. That would be the only forced pregnancy.
I just want to clarify here. So when you say force, you just mean the physical preventance of an individual from doing something, correct?
The physical preventance. I mean, you're the one that brought up the word force, bro. You said I want to force women to be pregnant.
Yes, absolutely. Like pro-life legislation forces women to be incubators for 9 months because it literally prevents them from the termination of that pregnancy, and that's undeniable. Okay, so yes, women are being forced to maintain pregnancy. That was my claim, and that claim is
no, they're not, bro.
Analytically
They're
true.
the ones getting in the bed.
Wait,
They're
no.
the ones getting in the bed, bro.
When you say that these women are the ones getting in the bed causing the pregnancy, okay, that does not contest the fact that they're still yet being forced to maintain pregnancy. You just be making the argument that it's a good thing that they're being forced to maintain pregnancy. Like for instance, if I cause myself to I don't know, get in my car, right? And then you walk up and you take my keys and you prevent me from getting out of my car, right? You're forcing me to be in that car, even though I opted to be in that car in the first place. And then also, consenting to sex is completely and totally separate from consenting to pregnancy. In fact, you can't consent to a biological process.
But when you consent to sex, you're consenting to the risk of pregnancy.
To the risk of pregnancy, yes. And we've already drilled down that argument. For instance, I'll run through the point once more. It is the case that when you consent to smoking a cigarette, you acknowledge the risk of lung cancer being caused by you smoking that cigarette. However, you don't think that a smoker has any obligation to tend to that lung cancer, and you don't think that they're doing anything wrong by terminating the life of that lung cancer by going to a doctor. And then you said the difference between the termination of the lung cancer and the termination of the fetus is that the fetus is a human that's morally valuable and the lung cancer is not morally valuable. Well, we've already disputed that principle as well because we've shown an internal contradiction within your own principle there because you don't value a brain dead patient even though they're human just like the fetus is.
So I think I can connect this to your smoking point of, okay, so like if they smoke.
After Ben, can I ask you a question after Ben?
Jason, thank you for the $15 of them. I appreciate you, Jason.
If they smoke cigarettes and they develop a clump of lung cancer cells, obviously that does not equate to a fetus. So like this analogy is already kind of crazy. But I'm gonna kind of connect it here. Let's say the person trying to treat the lung cancer doesn't have money, they have no access to healthcare, and now they're asking someone else to treat this lung cancer, right? And this someone else looks at them and they say, "Yo, little Jimmy, you understood when you smoked those cigarettes, you could get lung cancer. You didn't have money when you smoked these cigarettes. You knew you weren't going to be able to treat your lung cancer
Morgan,
if you got it,
$5
but you still smoked the cigarettes." And then that person said, "So therefore, I'm not going to treat your lung cancer. I'm not going to use my resources to treat your lung cancer. I'm not going to give you money like a government or God forbid, insurance."
So I just want to clarify. So you are okay with women getting abortions as long as they pay for it?
No, bro. What in the world, bro?
Okay, so then what the hell are you saying? Because all that you're saying is like, oh, well, if someone smokes a cigarette, like their healthcare shouldn't fucking cover it. Okay.
So what I'm saying is
the argument that like maybe like publicly funded healthcare shouldn't fund a woman's abortion, that's completely and totally separate from the point that I want to make very clear is that women should have access to abortion. As soon as we could find some resolution on this first point that women should have access to abortion, then we could go into more like tangential discussions on should like public healthcare options fund an abortion. Okay.
I think we should have access to abortion in this country 100%.
Ben, before you go into the argument,
on a small scale.
Ben, before you go into the argument, I just need you to turn your camera on and show the hairline real quick.
Bro, I've been wearing a hat all day. This is gonna do me dirty.
Dude, you posted that video about Dean, you know? Like,
Give me a sec. Let me fix my hair, bro.
I just need the camera to be turned on. I need you to be put on the big screen. I just want to see real quick.
Big screen, dude. Listen, I haven't got a haircut in 6 months. I'm gonna do it for y'all.
That's okay.
Cause I don't diss and hold on. I got y'all. Hey chat, go check out my new video, bro. Dean has a wig on right now. Don't believe his bullshit.
Shut up and turn your camera on. Nobody go check out his new video. He's like, dude, I'm literally starting
figure it
people's
out.
careers.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm
Oh,
literally
my
starting
career's
your
been
career.
started, bro. My career's been started.
Fuck no! Look at your TikTok page.
I got
Dude,
more.
that's
Absolutely
crazy.
not.
That's crazy.
Oh, dude, your hairline's shot, bro.
What are you talking about, bro?
Wait, pull it back quick. Okay.
That's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, how are you gonna be posting a video of Dean, bro?
Dude, I've been trying to stop wearing hats, to be honest, bro. Yo, let's go check on my boy playing Fortnite, first
Can
person.
we see the top? Can we see from the top?
I'm carrying, bro.
Can you like put your hair forward and can we see it from the top?
Yo, this musty, crusty.
Oh,
Oh my god.
dude, come on,
That's-
bro. Bro is cooking Dean, bro. What are you talking about, bro?
Go.
Okay,
would you-
please, no. We do not need to see the
Dude,
grippers.
dude.
Do not need to see the grippers, bro. That was crazy. That's all I want to say. I'm gonna keep eating. That's all I wanted to ask.
Okay, so when we're talking about the smoking analogy,
When was the last time you took a shower?
oh, dude, I wish I could remember, bro.
You fucking musty, dusty.
Bro, are you
dude.
trolling?
I'm a bath
Unreal.
guy, bro.
He's obviously trolling.
I'm not trolling. I bathe, bro. My mother bathes me.
Bro.
So when we talk about the smoking analogy, if someone was to say,
what,
I
like once a
refuse-
year? That's like crazy, bro.
So my point is, if in your situation the person said, I refuse treating the lung cancer because you took the risk.
dude, Sweet Home Alabama. Jesus Christ, what the fuck did you just say, dude?
I said, in terms of Dean's analogy, if someone refused to give their resources to someone who smoked and has lung cancer, I think morally that would be okay because that's their decision. So the person dies of lung cancer because they took the risk of smoking and they took that pleasure and they didn't have the money and they knew it. That's the analogy I'm making with a couple getting in bedroom and a woman getting pregnant. Is you took that risk knowing pregnancy was an outcome. Like, I don't know how you guys disagree with this.
So we've already like reduced your argument to nonsense. Like you're saying a mother engages in the act of intercourse knowing that pregnancy could be caused by that act of intercourse, and if that pregnancy is caused because of the foreknowledge, she is obligated to maintain the pregnancy. That is your position, right?
100% yes.
A smoker smokes a cigarette knowing that lung cancer could be caused by smoking that cigarette. So if lung cancer is caused, they're obligated to deal with it. Is it a consequence of smoking the cigarette?
Well, no, because it's a sickness, bro.
You have no other choice if you get cancer. or
So
not.
what's the distinction? It's you said it's
So
a
it would
sickness,
be- so
you mean
again, for the third
cancer
time-
could cause harm to the person, and that's why they should be able to get treatment.
Exactly. There you go. So
Okay.
again,
So I want to
again,
ask you. I want to ask you a
a
question.
lump of cancer cells is
I
not
want
a
to ask.
developing
I want to
human
ask you the
being.
question.
It's
So
very simple.
If the lump the lump of this cancer had the same potentiality to cause the individual with the cancer, sorry, to kill the individual with the cancer, as a pregnancy has a potentiality to kill the pregnant woman, would you still be okay with that individual with the cancer cells in their lungs seeking treatment?
So that would be one exception I would make, is if the mother's life is at risk.
No, if it had the same potentiality to kill as the typical pregnancy, would you still be okay with the individual with cancer seeking treatment?
I mean, anyone who's pregnant runs the risk of dying giving birth.
Can you ask that again? I'm sorry.
So
You
yeah,
repeated
if,
the
if,
fact that he just acknowledged.
if
That
it's
was
lung
no,
cancer,
that was
had
my
the
boy.
same-
That was my boy.
well, your boy's smart.
He is actually very smart.
So if this lung cancer had the same potentiality to kill its host as a pregnancy does to kill the woman that is pregnant, would you still be okay with the individual that has this cancer seeking treatment?
Yes.
Okay, so what that demonstrates to us is that no, it is either the fact that the level of harm that the cancer proposes is not the relevant distinction between why you think that a smoker should be able to get treatment but not a pregnant woman.
It's that the fetus has more moral value than a lump of cancer cells. It's
But
like
we've
I'm
already disputed that one because you said the reason it has moral value is because it's a human. Well, we showed an internal contradiction with your stance due to the fact that you don't value the life of a brain dead patient.
Because the brain dead patient already experienced life, and there was no consensual intercourse before that. It's just a brain dead patient.
Wait, so you're saying
What do you
that,
mean by already experienced life? What does that even mean?
So like a brain.
Like
Wait,
it's
let's just phrase
an
it this
older
way.
person.
Of a brain dead bait. So you're saying that it would be murder to pull the plug on a brain dead baby?
Is you referencing subjective experience?
Yeah.
I think in terms of a brain, like everything is situational, guys. It's not all black and white, like Lil Baby says. It's bigger than black and white, right? If a
What
baby
does
is
that
brain-
even mean? Actually, like seriously, what did that statement mean?
It's a Lil Baby song. You got to look it up. If a baby is brain dead, that's actually a good point. If a baby is brain dead, we need to hold off longer on terminating that baby and try to bring it more to life.
What?
Wait,
Just
no, brain
like
death implies the permanent and total
Try to
cessation of
bring
all
it
collective
more to
attention.
life?
There's
What
no
the fuck is that?
potentiality that it'll have future life. Like
There's no
collective
what?
there's no potentiality that it'll have future subjective experiences.
Okay, then yeah, get rid of it.
Okay, so then, like, why don't you value the life of the
Get
brain
rid
dead
of it
patient
is
exactly?
crazy.
Because you just told me the reason that you don't value the life of the brain dead patient is that they have conscious experiences prior.
Yes, and a fetus.
However,
does
now
have
you don't.
potential to carry
However,
life.
you don't value the life of the brain dead baby, even though it hasn't had conscious experiences prior either.
You just said if a brain dead baby has no potential for life, but the fetus does have potential, so that would be the difference.
Oh, okay. So now your argument is no longer this idea that you value the life of the fetus because it's a human being, but rather you value the life of the fetus because it will have consciousness in the future, right?
The main reason I value the life of the fetus is because of the risk they took when they got in the bedroom.
And then we've already reduced that, because if it is the case that it was that original causal obligation argument that drives the moral value in the life of the fetus, that same causal obligation argument would have to drive moral value for literal cancer cells that smokers cause.
No, it wouldn't, because the cancer is
Then
hurting
what's the
you, bro.
distinction? Well, remember how we agreed if the cancer were to hurt its host just as much as of a pregnancy would, that you would still think that an individual with said cancer should be able to seek treatment?
I don't understand this analogy. A pregnancy doesn't really hurt the person.
It's hard to
Okay, well, you are a stupid
Let
man.
my boy respond.
It's
Let
hard
my
to
boy respond.
quantify that because it depends on what cancer you're dealing with. Like
Wait,
some
before we get into this, what do you mean pregnancy cannot hurt someone? What the fuck are you saying?
Like,
What type
yeah,
of
bro.
delusional man brain caveman take is pregnancy doesn't hurt women? What do you
That was like the most man thing to say. That was like such a man thing to say.
Listen, bro. Yes, it's
That
a
was
tough.
such a man thing to say.
I'm not
Jesus
saying
Christ,
9
dude.
months of pregnancy is not tough. but
Jessica
there are-
and Adriana, thank you both for the $5 on Venmo. Thank you, Jessica and Adriana.
Yes.
Everybody, please show some love to Jessica and Adriana.
W donators. Let's keep Dean live, man. This
Yo,
guy's-
Tessa with the $37 for a happy Monday. Thank you so much, Tessa. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Squeeze some W's for Tessa in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the $37. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll forget. What did you say, Dean?
The point that we're driving home is that we could perfectly relate.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got it. I
scenario
remember what I was going to say. I
of
remember what I
a
was gonna say.
cigarette smoker being obligated to deal with the cancer that the cigarette smoking caused to a woman engaging in intercourse having an obligation to the pregnancy that the intercourse caused.
So
you're
what do you think
telling me
has
that
more
the
harm,
difference
lung
is in the
cancer or a
scenario.
pregnancy?
Well, I'm literally positing in the hypothetical that the cancer is just as harmful as the pregnancy. We
Not
can
at
say
all.
That the cancer, dude, it's an assumption of the hypothetical. You cannot change the bounds in which the hypothetical operates under. You don't know how to debate. The entire point of a hypothetical scenario is to use the Socratic method to deduce your argument to an internal contradiction.
Okay, so
I
let
am
me-
applying the
get
Socratic
specific.
method. No. I'm applying the Socratic method, right, specifically to this instance through the use of a hypothetical situation to draw an analogy. And before you say that, oh, that's not a real way to debate, you don't actually do this. Dude, if you listen to the oral arguments in the Supreme Court for the TikTok ban, like even the Supreme Court justices were doing this. Like it's a Socratic method. This is a genuine way to test your principled conclusions. So in other words, if there was a smoker that yielded lung cancer from smoking a cigarette that only was going to exist in their lungs for 9 months and bear the same amount of harm as a pregnancy, the same risk / potential for death as a pregnancy, do you think that lung cancer should be able to seek medical treatment, or do you think it should literally be considered illegal for them to do so, even if they want to pay for it?
It should never be
Well,
illegal.
I believe in rights for cancer cells. So, like, cancer cells all deserve rights. That's what it is, right?
And when you guys
What about you, Ben? Answer my question.
when you guys say a woman, it's an abortion does harm to a woman.
Ben, answer my fucking question, bro.
Bro, you didn't even let me answer the first point you made about pregnancies doing harm. We just skipped that.
because like we don't. I literally in the hypothetical, I'm positing that this cigarette is going to cause an identical amount of harm that a pregnancy does. Okay, so do you think that this cigarette smoker should be able to get treatment to terminate the life of this cancer that is causing an identical amount of harm as a pregnancy would?
So the reason I don't understand this hypothetical is because, in my opinion, the cancer of the lung cancer is of higher damage than the pregnancy. So you're saying,
Bro, in this
hold on,
hypothetical
let me finish,
situation,
let me
no,
finish.
no, Ben. You are changing my hypothetical. You are changing my hypothetical situation. In this hypothetical situation, where the cancer causes an identical amount of harm, okay, should the individual with the cancer be able to get and seek medical treatment?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
therefore, right, the level of harm experienced given the typical pregnancy would be sufficient for a mother to scapegoat any accountability for the pregnancy under your worldview, and she would not be obligated to deal with the pregnancy.
Not at all, because listen, in your hypothetical, you are saying that pregnancy is more damaging to a woman than lung cancer. But if you ask any woman on this planet, if you
Wait,
ask
repeat
any,
my
hold on, let me
repeat my
finish, let me-
hypothetical. No, because you're already
I'm
not
trying to,
understanding.
Dean. I am
No,
trying to respond, bro.
No, because you're already not understanding my argument. Repeat my hypothetical, because I don't think you understand it.
You just said if smoking cancer does the same damage as a pregnancy, would it be okay for the person that's pregnant to terminate the pregnancy?
No. I said the opposite of that. I said if a cigarette smoker got lung cancer that caused the same amount of harm as the typical pregnancy, should the cigarette smoker be able to seek medical treatment?
And I'm saying the cancer does more damage. This is a fact. In non-hypotheticals, cancer does more damage.
Okay,
than
so
pregnancy.
you're not answering to my hypothetical, so you just admitted to pivoting.
Dude, I'm not pivoting. I'm answering your point directly.
No,
Listen,
you literally just said
let
that
me
you
ask you
were
this.
not. No. You literally just said that you were not answering my point directly because you said outside of your hypothetical, it causes more harm. So now inside of my hypothetical where it doesn't, should that smoker be able to get chemotherapy?
Yes, bro.
Thank you. So even if the typical case of lung cancer caused the same amount of harm as a pregnancy, you still think that that smoker should have no obligation to sustain the life of the cancer. So why should the woman have an obligation to sustain the pregnancy?
If you ask any woman on this globe, would you rather have lung cancer or be pregnant? What do you think every woman is going to say?
Oh my fucking God. You just agreed that the amount of harm that is caused by the cancer is irrelevant insofar as why you think that a smoker should not have an obligation to deal with the lung cancer. We just agreed. We literally just agreed that if cancer caused the same amount of harm as the typical pregnancy, that this individual with the cancer should not be obligated to deal with it. You are too stuck on irrelevant facts, such as the idea that in reality, a pregnancy causes less harm than cancer on average, okay? Right? If we just assume that that's true, that is totally and unequivocally fine, because the point of my hypothetical was to demonstrate that you do not find the level of harm caused by cancer to be relevant to why you think it's okay for a smoker to get chemotherapy, even though they were the ones that caused that lung cancer to exist. Do you understand how we have examined your underlying logical principles, and we have detailed exactly how it is internally contradictory for you to say that a woman consenting to sex, acknowledging the risk of pregnancy, does have an obligation to deal with the pregnancy if it occurs, yet a smoker consenting to smoking, acknowledging the risk of lung cancer, does not have an obligation to deal with the lung cancer if it occurs. You continue to try to posit the idea that the difference between these two scenarios is the level of harm caused by the pregnancy and the level of harm caused by the cancer, but now we have completely and unilaterally shut that position down because you agreed if they cause the same level of harm, you still think that the smoker should be able to seek medical treatment.
So at the beginning of that, you agreed. You said pregnancy on average does less damage than lung cancer. So if we agree on a fact, Dean, if we agree on that, why do we need a hypothetical, bro? If we agree
because
that
the
pregnancy does
hypothetical
less damage.
situation is being used to demonstrate that you do not think that level of harm, right, is relevant in determining who should and shouldn't have access to the termination.
If you can't understand
of
a
an
hypothetical,
instance in
you're
what they
stupid.
occurred.
You're stupid.
Parker,
actually.
am I like explaining myself bad?
No, you're fine, dude. It's just he doesn't understand hypotheticals, and like I have an issue with people being like anti-intellectual and being like hypotheticals aren't relevant. You understand we use hypotheticals all the time. Like, let me give you an example. Right? When you specifically build a slide or a roller coaster in a particular way, right, in order to ensure safety of the rider or of the person who's going on the slide, you are thinking of hypothetical scenarios where they could get hurt. Okay? So
I have
hypotheticals
no
are
problem
clearly
with
relevant.
hypotheticals. I have no problem with hypotheticals. Parker, and I'm gonna let my boy respond because he's eager, bro. He has a good response with some statistics. Parker, can you try to reword what Dean is saying? Because I genuinely, I'm for hypotheticals, but again, Dean is saying like if pregnancy caused the same harm as
No, you
lung cancer.
fucking donut. I've
Okay,
said
let
the
Parker-
opposite. No,
okay,
shut up. I've said the opposite 4 times. It's not if pregnancy causes the same amount of harm as cancer. It's if cancer causes the same amount of harm as pregnancy.
Cancer caused the same amount of harm as pregnancy. Cancer would not be that bad, bro.
So would you think if a smoker got that cancer from smoking that they should still be able to go in and get chemotherapy to terminate the life of the cancer?
Yes, bro. And can you let Parker
Exactly.
Ben-
So
Ben-
first of
Ben,
all,
this is you.
First of all, I completely contest that like pregnancy's not that bad. You're just a man that's ignorant. But the point of the matter is
Parker just said I'm filled with cream.
The point of the matter is that you don't.
No, I called
think-
you a donut.
Yeah, you said I'm filled with cream. That's
Okay, so
I did not say you were.
Are you here to
That is
listen
not-
to
that's
the
not
point
what I
or
said at
talk
all.
about how you want to be filled with cream?
Dean, I am genuinely trying to hear you, but can you let Parker translate your hypothetical? Because I don't like, dude, this is a wild hypothetical, bro.
Trisha,
I'm gonna
thank
say
you-
the same thing
Trisha
that Dean
Grace,
just
Thank you
said.
for the $2 on Venmo. I appreciate you both. So Trisha sends $2 on Venmo and says, "Your argument is completely followable, and I'm only half listening." Yeah.
Parker, can you try to break this down, bro?
Dude, I'm gonna say the same thing that he just said. If you accept it after I say it, and then you
Try it.
didn't, and then, dude, Dean's gonna crash out, Ben. Just listen to him.
I am
Seriously, if I
genuinely-
say it and
I
then
am
you accept it,
genuinely
he's
doing
gonna
my
crash
best to
out.
understand.
No,
I am
just try it,
genuinely
just
doing
try
my
it,
best to
just try it.
understand. Give me your best shot, Parker.
Maybe I'll run it in a different way.
Thank you for the beating.
I'll give you my way of referring to it. So essentially, like the argument is that if you think that because it's living, right, and because it was
Yeah, thank you for the
caused
dollar
into
figure.
existence by the individual that you're specifically referenced, like they engaged in an action in which particularly led to a greater likelihood, which had a great likelihood of like say getting lung cancer, like smoking a cigarette, right? You're going to have an obligation to sustaining, right, the life that comes from that action in which there was a high risk, right, excessively high risk for that to occur.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying.
Okay. So like, if you caused that into existence, you said it was valuable, right? If it's living, and you caused it into existence, right?
Emma, thank
So
you for the
you
$10
cause-
on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Emma.
So to
So
follow,
you caused the lung cancer into existence because you
Yes.
smoked the cigarette, means you have an obligation to sustain the cancer cells in the same way that you have, right, an obligation to sustain, right, like the embryo under your view, because you said the moral value of the embryo or the zygote comes from the fact that you caused it. That's what you were arguing.
Okay, I see what you're saying. In my opinion, yes, I do have more moral value to a fetus than I would a clump of cancer cells.
Okay, so essentially, what we're trying to get you to realize is like why? What's the distinction under your view?
Okay, I see what you're saying because you're saying okay. Well,
Like, what's the distinction between them? Like
I
between
mean, I
the
just-
embryo
I
and
just-
that.
I just think it's as simple as a human fetus is more valuable than a clump of cancer cells. I don't know how this is so difficult to comprehend.
So it's just because it is? Is that your?
Yes, bro. What do you mean? Like, is a dog more valuable than a human?
Well, I mean, I can see a distinction between these, right? The distinction is that one, if we're talking about a person, would be sentient. Right? Otherwise, like I don't really think that you value just like cellular organisms.
Okay, I'm gonna pass this to
Yeah.
my boy. He's actually very smart and he does debates and stuff. So let me just.
All right. Well, you bowed out, so I got to kick you. You got a flag like 5 minutes ago. I was gonna kick you like 5 minutes ago when you originally got the flag, but I was like, I've wasted so much energy and cortisol on trying to drive this point home. So I was just waiting for you to call me.